What's up, everybody? You are watching the J Red Show on Twitter, and on TikTok, and YouTube. Some of you on YouTube, some of you on TikTok. Anyhow, Buffalo sports season is over, except for the Buffalo Bisons, which is just Buffalo fans just watch myself included, watch very casually. Just like to go win the games, just enjoy the sun, but we're not really invested in it as much as we are with the Bills and Sabres and even the Bandits. So we go around the world for the sports. The New York Knicks sweep the Cleveland Cavaliers to go to their first NBA Finals since 1999. Hoping to win their first championship since 1973. They'll take on the winner of the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the San Antonio Spurs. In the NHL, the Vegas Golden Knights lead the Colorado Avalanche 3-0, and Carolina Hurricanes lead the Montreal Canadiens 2-1. But this show I want to talk about European football. So Arsenal wins their first English football titles in 22 years since 2004, and they'll be going for the Champions League against defending champion Paris Saint-Germain. At the bottom, Tottenham Hotspur avoided it would have been an embarrassing relegation. Yao Polano scores a goal in 42 minutes into. That's the only goal scored in the game against Everton, and that's the goal that will keep Tottenham in the Premier League. Now, I do like European soccer. I like watching the highlights. Don't really have a favorite team. Maybe I'll choose one of these days. But when I compare it to how it works in North America, I think there's a positive and negative. I like the idea of promotion and relegation. I mean, I can just feel the intensity and just the fear of being sent down to the second level. Like here in Buffalo, if the Bills ever left Buffalo, UB football would become the highest level of football played in the city. If the Sabres ever moved, they would probably be replaced with like an AHL team. That's what essentially happens in the Premier League. Teams fight for their status as major professional clubs. But that's a positive, but in doing so, it does take away variety. And that's kind of my criticism against European soccer. I mean, I don't hate European soccer, it just kind of bothers me. Again, I realize that it's apples to oranges versus the North American sports. But compared to the North American sports, the New York Yankees have more championships than any pro sports team in North America. But despite all their money, despite all their advantages, they only have one World Series title they have not won the World Series title in 17 years, and that's their only one in the last 26 years. We're talking over a quarter of a century. The Montreal Canadiens had the second most in 24. I was 5 years old the last time they won the Stanley Cup. That's like over 33 years ago. In the NFL, the Patriots, they waited 40 years for Tom Brady, won 3 Super Bowls with Tom Brady, and then had to wait a decade for the next 3. The Lakers, they have 3 in the early 2000s, 2 in the late 2000s, and then only 1 since. It is hard to win championships in the North American sports. When your team wins a championship, you cherish that moment because you never know what's coming back. But in the European soccer leagues, we usually see the same 2 to 3 teams win championships every year. In Germany's Bundesliga, Bayern Munich literally has half of all the German championships. In Spain's La Liga, it goes back and forth between FC Barcelona and Real Madrid. Italy, you have Milan, Inter Milan, and Juventus. I mean, occasionally other teams go in there, but it just keeps going back and forth between these couple teams. The same team in Scotland, it's Rangers and Celtic. Hearts almost broke the curse of not having either of those two teams win a championship for the first time since 1985. But nope, Celtic won again. Variety's a little bit better in England. But still, Manchester United won 13 titles in the first 20 years of the Premier League. That's more than double what the Chicago Bulls won with Michael Jordan and what the Patriots won with Tom Brady. And then Manchester United won 8 titles in 16 years. And then across our route, Manchester City won 8 titles in 16 years. So in the 36-year history of the Premier League, 20 of those championships have gone to one of the 2 Manchester teams. And in the 70s and 80s, Liverpool won 11 championships. And then on top of that, if they fail to win their league, they could have a parade by winning either their Nations Cup competition or one of the European championships. If they were like divisional / secondary championships, and the Champions League was the ultimate prize, that's a bit more reasonable. But that's not the case at all. Arsenal fans had a huge celebration when they won the championship, and they're going to have a parade at the Champions League no matter what happens in the Champions League finals. Again, I realize that it's apples to oranges versus the U.S. sports. I hope European soccer fans can talk to me about this, but it's just something that kind of bothers me. I don't know, I think championships are supposed to be hard to win. I'm also eager to know how do European soccer fans choose their teams? Because in North America, the majority of fans root for their closest team. I'm from a town 30 miles away from Buffalo, New York. The majority of people around here root for the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Sabres. Not everybody, but the majority. That's the case around most towns in the country. Now, New York City has 2 NFL teams, so 2 NBA teams, 2 MLB teams, and technically 3 NHL teams, as the New Jersey Devils play across the bridge from New York City. Los Angeles has 2 teams every sports. Chicago has 2 baseball teams, so they usually choose. A lot of fans from those cities usually choose between one of those 2 teams or whatever team they choose. But in England, there's like 17 professional teams in London. How do fans in Liverpool choose between Liverpool and Everton? Or how do fans in Liverpool choose between Liverpool and Everton? How do fans or one of the other teams that play in Liverpool or nearby Liverpool? Or what about fans in Manchester? How do you choose between Manchester United and Manchester City or other Manchester area teams? How many fans stay fans after relegation? Because Major League sports are far more popular than minor league sports. Like, is there a level, like, if they get so far down the totem pole, are you done? I'm not going to root for this team anymore? Just some questions I'm curious about. I'm really excited for the World Cup in a month. Well, got some baseball coming up. NHL and NBA playoffs underway. So we keep it like sports-wise, keep you entertained. But ultimately, I'm waiting for September for the return of the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Sabres, hoping they can bring a championship to Buffalo, New York. So, that's it for today. What are your thoughts here on Twitter at JRed Show? And I'll see you later.